when you can't sleep and you're awake at 1 a.m., I thought I would do an experiment. Yes, I'm using Robin Hood flour, bread flour, and serendipity has formed into a chocolate serendipity. So we're gonna see how this works, and I will bake the bread, and then we'll put it all together and see what happens. Chocolate sourdough bread. Yum. Oh, look at this. So bubbly. Smells divine. And it's floating. So it's still resting. Nice. Okay, so I've done 2 sets of folds, so all 4 corners, done it twice. So now I'm going to do the coil folds for the next 2. I just wet my hands and I just kind of go around the whole bowl. Yeah, this is 5 recipes. And this is chocolate and sourdough. So I need to lift it all up. Yeah, this is heavy. Don't want to rip it. So then I push one side down and then I just roll the other side into it. So that's 2, all right? So basically you're doing, it would be 4 if you just lifted up one side and let it fall, turn it around. Let's see if I can do that one for this one, what I meant. So I'm gonna grab this, let that sit there. And then I just grab all of it from underneath here that I just folded over. Isn't that loud? And then just bring this under and put that on. And there you go. That makes it 4. Just giving this a little bit of water. I know it doesn't need it, but because I'm using a towel on top that's moist, and I'm covering it, letting it sit now for another 30 minutes. It's just here in the kitchen. So I'm just gonna put it on the windowsill or by the windowsill, just up here. It's a messy kitchen today, so just gonna let it sit here. I use the sink because height challenge, it's easier for me to work with this rather than work with it on the counter and do this. And that way it just helps me. I hope you get it. The dough has been resting for over an hour, and now it's time to lightly flour the counter. And yeah, let's just wipe it down first. The bottom of the bowl was a little bit wet. So gently loosen it from the sides and let it fall out when you get to a point. Not too much flour, just enough. You don't want it to be all floured up again. I put a little bit on the side just in case I need extra. Yep, spread it all out. So I use the bench scraper to gently coax the dough out or cut it. In this case, I'm just using my hands, let it come out. And this is the time where you divide the dough. So as this is for 5 recipes, I'm going to be portioning it out, hopefully somewhat evenly. But you know what? I'm not selling this, so it doesn't have to be a certain weight. Approximate is good. I am by no means a professional cook, so I wing a lot of the time what I'm doing. My metal scraper is actually being borrowed at the moment, so I can't use that. So I've got the plastic one. Oh, just so this will be 5 loaves of bread that we're going to do. This is the first time that I'm making this chocolate cake, so it was trial and error. And you know what? Next time I think I'll go for the savory. Maybe I'll do the jalapenos, peppers, onions, and, bit of salsa sauce or something to that effect. Spices maybe to that effect. Yes, that might turn out quite nice as well. So, and this one is going to be chocolate, cinnamon, cacao. One of them I want to put cranberries and walnuts in. So the first part is to have enough space to be able to work with each piece. Just lightly flouring my hands just to separate, stretch out the dough so I can put the fillings in there. Add a little light. I started this bread making during COVID, started my own starter. So it is serendipity. And the chocolate one, I guess, will be chocolate serendipity. And I am not being sponsored by any of these product owners. I'm just showing it for you guys to see what I am using. As you can see, there's no measurements, there's nothing. I wing it. Cinnamon powder, sprinkle that in there. And then, of course, we've got the chocolate chips, the milk chocolate. And the semi-sweet chocolate chips. Now comes the fun part of folding this. Going 1/3 in from both sides. It's just the dough is starting to stick, so I need it not to stick as much so I can work with it. But then you do not want a lot of flour on the surface. When you come to making it into a bowl, you want that tension that the counter is going to create for pulling it in. fold and fold again. These little tiny runaway chocolates. So basically, when you do the next step, cup your hands and pull the dough slightly towards you. I'm going to have to seal this a little bit better. I didn't think this through. And I'm just rolling it into a little log. And when I use my hands, the fingers, I try to cup them. And also at the same time, push parts of the sides down so that they actually will form a round bowl. There I go, folding them all inside to build a tension. That's why you don't need a lot of flour at this point there. And just cup your hands and pull towards you. There. Just trying to make it nice and round. And once that's more or less done, we're going to put that aside and work on the next one. You don't want to put too much tension on there that it rips. All that work you've done with the stretch and folds and the coil folds. Okay, 1 down and 4 to go. the half an hour is up, and now for round 2. The bowls have been sitting there for half an hour, and we're going to do the same. Stretch the dough out, and then we're going to do the folds. And if we can get a little bit more chocolate in there, we will, or I will. And let's see. So we're just going to pull a little bit, press down a bit, and then just do a little square fold, basically. All 4 sides, turn it upside down, and then do the tension. So hands at the top and bring it down a bit and pull towards yourself. So this works really good. It's nice and tight. And, it's taken a little bit of practice just to kind of get to this point, for me anyways. I don't bake all the time, but when I do get into it, then I might be baking every week. I always do more than one loaf because it's easier. So if you're doing 2 loaves, it's the same work. So you don't need to be spending all that time, every few days or whatever. And so that's why I prefer doing multiple loaves. This, because it was a trial, I wanted to hand it out to family and see what they thought of it. And hence, trying 5 loaves. And, nobody can resist chocolate. And I do love my walnuts and cranberries or pumpkin seeds or sesame seeds a little bit too. Just something, it makes it a little bit different. And yeah, I think I may even try kind of a Greek take on it. Greek seasoning, a little bit of extra salt maybe, I don't know. And feta cheese in there. Olives. Oh yeah, I think that might be a nice little twist. Yeah, all this that's kind of coming out a bit. I know it's going to overcook in the oven. And even the chocolate, I do fear that, because when we score the bread, that the chocolate will come out and those pieces of chocolate will burn. So we'll just have to remove them. So I don't know how long everybody else has been doing this. And as I've said, I'm very new to this, in the essence that I don't do it all the time. I don't make bread all the time. And this is something I've started getting into. And I hope you like what you're seeing. Next time I'll do just a simple loaf or 2 and just, make it a little bit easier. And I don't know if or how good you are at doing the various stretch and folds. I know there's so many different methods for that too, but I found this was simple for me. When you have a day set aside, if you want to bake it on the weekend, maybe start your starter the evening before. And on the Saturday, you would, if you're cleaning or doing anything else, and in between the folds, the mixing, you'll get it down. You'll get it down to an art. And sometimes for me, I might start the process of feeding the starter in the morning and then start the process in the evening. And sometimes it's late because of the amount of time I allow it to rise. So sometimes I'll let it rise for an hour after I've done this portion. And majority of the time it is half an hour. I let them sit in the bannetons and the proofing baskets. And never worry about having even the baskets themselves. If you've got bowls that are not the small ones, but something that's a little bit bigger, you can always use them. So here I've got a little steel bowl, a glass bowl, and then I do have 3 proofing baskets. I've got 2 that are lined and 1 that is not lined. So I've ordered these, I think, off of Amazon a while back. So I'm spreading some rice flour into each of the baskets. And the other 2 bowls that I have, I will line them with kitchen towel. Yeah, just in this one here, I'm just going to spread it all the way around so it fills the grooves and there's enough at the bottom, because I don't want any of the flour attaching itself to the sides or getting into the little grooves in there. I mean, it's going to get in there, of course, so that you get that beautiful design. And, you know, when you're using the rice flour, and you'll see that later on in the video too, that it kind of offers a different aspect to the design as well when you're baking it. And the covers for the Banneton's proofing baskets, I'll just remove and wash. And the containers themselves, I'll wash them out after baking, because you don't want that flour to be sitting in there for any length of time. And so I've got a dish towel for each of the bowls. And again, it's going to do the same thing. I'm going to put rice flour in it. Push it down a bit, put rice flour, and put the sourdough loaves in there. Yeah, just spread it out nicely. I don't use shaking. See, hands do all the work. If your dough is sticking to the bottom, you may use the bench scraper just to lift it up into your hands, or put it right in there with the bottom side up and pinch anywhere that is open so that it closes properly. And I will do that to all of the loaves. So that, and cover it up with the towel. And this is 1 down. Here goes the second one. Because the dough itself isn't as sticky anymore, so it's kind of easier to handle. But just the size of just trying to lift it up, sometimes you don't want to mess around with it. There you go. Just can't wait to try these loaves. Two down, and let's work on the third. So this is the unlined one, just with the flour in it. And there we These, they're rising quite nicely too, so you can tell by some of the bubbles that are starting to form on the dough. And that just makes me happy. So I know that, you know what, when it comes to being baked, and it'll be just perfect. Mess it up. Come on, Jazz. That's okay. There won't be any harm to the dough from the rice flour. I am so excited to taste these. Just the never-ending story of a chocolate dough. I mean, there's probably million ideas people can do. Sometimes you can roll the dough in nuts and seeds, put it at the bottom of the proofing baskets, and you'll get that sesame flavor or black sesames. I even did one with kind of that bagel mixture, everything bagel, but I don't think I cared for that because of the garlic that's in there, and it just burnt, so you had a little bit of a burnt taste. Yeah, so I'm covering these up with shower caps, the other 3 baskets. I could have just put another towel on there each as well, but I find these are easier. And now it's time for them to rest. And then they will go in the fridge. Do a little dance. All right, they're in the fridge, resting away. And I've got 3 on one shelf and 2 on the other. The 2 pots that I will be using. So I've got this guy right here. He's what is this made? Brandont, and then the Pyrex. So I'm gonna put it in here and close the oven. Bake. I'm gonna start at 475. Start. Then I will reduce the heat. All right. So I made the sourdough yesterday, and the pots are in the oven. And now it's time to bring these out. So this is the one that I had that I didn't line, right? So I'm gonna put it in like this, and then hopefully it's gonna come out nicely. Just gently coats. That was gentle on my behalf. So there is a lot of rice flour on it, but that's what made it stop from sticking to the container there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, rice flour is fine. It's not gonna be too bad on there. And then there is the second one. It actually was a bigger piece, so it grew in the fridge as well. And as you can see with this one, with the paper being in there, there's no indentations like this one has here. All right, so I'm gonna score it before I bring the pots out to put them in. So this is my tool. In the beginning, I used to just use the blade, and it didn't have this, but I find it's easier with this. And let's start on this guy here first. Yeah, I'm just gonna go right about here. I'm gonna make a reverse C. For me, it's a reverse C. So I'm just cutting through the layers a little bit where the gases are gonna release. You wanna make it nice there. All right, so, and then the same thing for this one. So I will start over here and work my way through here. I think I hit a chocolate, or maybe this is a walnut one, I can't remember. There we go. I think it was, the chocolate was hitting in there. Okay. So if you want, you can make other patterns on it as well. And don't overthink it. In the beginning, I was just like, oh my God, I hope I just get that part right. Okay. And that was that. And one for this guy. Okay. trying to see what I was going to do on here. I'll just do a heart. Okay. Turn the blade the other way. And the left hand just doesn't do the same trick. There we go. So there's two places for it to release, but not necessarily needed. You could just go with one. All right, put that aside and then bring the pots out. Let's get this guy out. Okay, so that shift over. Here we go. Because the heat is going to escape when I pull these out, I just kind of left the heat on. Still at 475. I'll turn it down once I've closed the door. So close the door so I keep all the heat in there. All right. So all I'm going to do is pick it up and put it right in there, hopefully centering it. All right. Remember, the pans are really hot. And then for the other one, again, grab it and just slide it in there. Okay, that's simple. Take the lids, put them on, and in the oven they go. Turn the heat down now. Bake off, bake 450. Start. So the temperature dropped to 389, but it should come up, and we should have, and the timer. Got to put the timer on, don't forget that, or on your phone. So whatever works best for you, all right? Okay. Timer is done, so turn the heat down to off, bake for 25, start. All right. Ooh, fogged up my glasses and probably the camera too. Take the lids off. Look at that. Doesn't that not look amazing? And there's the other one. Beautiful. So we're going to push them back in. Shut the timer off. Now I'm going to set it for timer 16 minutes. Okay, timer's going. Timer off. Pull out this. Okay. So that's how they look. Chocolatey, ooey gooey. So I'm going to quickly turn this around. Maybe I can't. So hopefully you guys can see this. I am going to remove the loaves. I'll show you a better picture once I'm done taking these out, because I've got another step to go in here. I'm going to use the same parchment paper. It's mixing it with the parchment paper. And I'm going to put this guy back with the lid, because I have other ones to go. Here. And let's just adjust it a little bit. And grab this out. Ooh, the chocolate is a little burnt on this one. Okay, put the lid on that one. Put it back. And turn the temp to back to 450 this time. Start. All right. I think They're good. I think I'm gonna do a little bit less time on the next one. They are a little bit dark, but you know what? I guess it's cooked. All right. So let me just take this up and over and show you my project 1 and 2. But again, it was an experiment. So everything's losing from places. And there's this guy here. Isn't that beautiful? To get a better look, there's the form of it. All right, the chocolate, cinnamon, and chocolate chip breads are ready. Baked all 5 of them. These were the first 2 that went in. And look at the crumb on this one here. Beautiful. And look how that one opened up. Just gorgeous. I think what I will have to do is remove the burnt chocolate off of there, or tell people not to eat that part, because I think that would be very bitter. And this was the last one. This is the one that had the walnuts, cranberries, chocolate, and cinnamon in there. Actually, I think I forgot cinnamon in one of them, but oh well. So my journey for baking sourdough bread started during COVID. And that's where I started my own sourdough starter, which I named Serendipity, because we had so many learning curves with it. I say we, just me. And there was a lot of trial and error, thinking, oh, my starter is right. We can start the process. But the breads they're basically, some of them didn't even rise. But then some were undercooked. But my husband, the good support he is, he tried and tested everything I baked. And it's like, okay, we're not going to waste money, okay? Because we can't find bread flour anywhere. We're going to eat this. So then I would slice it, cut it, put it on this in a frying pan with a little bit of butter on both sides. Oh my God, they were delicious, okay? Take my word for it. So anyways, this video I did for my cousin who wants to learn how to make sourdough. And my daughter, she also is learning how to do the sourdough bread. And I've got another cousin in Glasgow, so my starter is going worldwide. Okay, so what we baked was chocolate sourdough bread. Okay, this was my first attempt, and the crumb is quite nice on this one. This one, and also the one with the cranberries and walnuts. That was delicious too. So these I imagine would be as delicious. And so some people will get this as a gift. All right, the Diwali is tomorrow. And then there was this one. I think that all the chocolate came to the top. So I don't think anybody's gonna want burnt chocolate. So I'll just get them not to eat the crust part at the top. So there, you can hear the crunch. Like if I squeeze it, sorry, I went off camera there. You can hear that. So, and then this one here, I cut it into a cross. So it just opened up like a flower. And then this one, even though I carved it into a C, it had a mind of its own. I didn't cut it deep enough, I assume. But again, it did push out all the gases out in this area, which was good. It didn't go further. So that is the crunch. And the one that I did cut is the walnut one. Walnut and cranberry. It's almost like a dessert. I mean, chocolate, cinnamon. Who can go wrong? So I hope that you learned something from this video. And my goal is to try and do different types of fillings in there. So next one I want to do is more of a Mexican take. I'll use the Mexican flavorings in there. I'll do the cheese, jalapenos, green peppers, onions, cheddar cheese, and see how that tastes. Okay, and maybe we'll do a Greek one. Throw some feta cheese in there, some olives, yeah, and Greek seasoning. I think that would be delicious. All right, so enjoy your journey. I hope this helped, and we'll see you next time. It won't let me do it. So I have cut the bread. Apparently, I somehow messed up with the shooting of this, cutting it. It's so crunchy, crispy. So when I cut it, I used my bread knife. And look how beautiful that is. And it's nice to have a good bread knife. This is from Cutco, even though I'm not sponsored or they're not sponsoring me for anything, but this is a very good knife for cutting bread. And then listen to the crunch of the crust. That is so good, so good. Yes, I went right through the heart. I hope you guys would give a chance to baking, trying new things. Next time I'm going to do the jalapeno, pepper, and cheese, cheddar cheese. Let's see how they go. Okay, enjoy. Have a great day.